Hello and welcome to Offstage. My name is Sherman Abia, and in this episode we will be talking to Peter from Fourth Sun South. Yes, I have tried to say that many times. It is a great tongue twister, but firstly, before we start the episode, we will be listening to a brand new song called Positive, which is on their new album, which will be released on the 7th of November. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to your episode of Offstage.
Well, thank you. I'm Peter Toussaint. I'm the frontman of Fourth Sun South. And yes, it is a tongue twister, being the lead vocalist and lead guitarist. And I incidentally also write all the original songs.
That is so amazing. So you guys have a brand new album coming out, which is called The Sounds Around Your Head. So this is being released in November, to be specific, the 7th of November at Jar Bar. So can you tell me the method behind this and how you came up with all of the songs?
I think we can blame the COVID crisis for that. As most musicians, we were hit hard by COVID, as in all your gigs cancelled in one go. And at first I did a music quiz online. And that was fun, and people enjoyed it. I also enjoyed it. I had to learn 12 new songs every week. But after a while, I had, this is actually not going anywhere, and it's most certainly not helping me. I got, as I think also a lot of musicians, I got into deep depression, and then I decided, no, I am going to do something. I'm going to work. I'm going to start writing songs now. So I did, and I think I wrote about 20 songs, and then we started recording. Well, before we knew it, it was, okay, well, this is actually an album.
That is so insane. So how did you choose 11 songs from the 20 that you have written?
Well, a couple of them were really crap, so that made it that made it easy. Yeah, no, you select the songs that you say, I think they are the strongest, and also complement the other ones that are there. There were a couple of songs that we already had, but we'd never recorded them.
In the album, or in the new album that you guys have recorded, there's a bunch of different elements to it. So you guys have added rock, funk, blues, reggae. So that gives the group kind of a diverse image, I guess. So was this something that you've always had in mind for the band?
No, actually not. It just came out. No, the original idea of Fourth Sun South was rock, and yeah, I think in the album you can hear my love for classic rock, and that was actually always the idea. But yeah, when I started writing, then you specifically in the morning when I have my shower, then I usually get ideas, and then I can't wait to get out of the shower to get back in the studio and start working on it. And yeah, two songs where funk elements came up. There was one with reggae. Yeah, it kind of happened as it happened. The song was there. I just still needed to write it.
That's pretty cool. So you guys were supposed to release a brand new album or EP right before lockdown. And as you said, unfortunately, that got a bit tangled up, and you guys still released it. So can you tell us more about that album and how it kind of corresponds or reflects towards the album that you guys are going to release on the 7th of November?
We started recording that one I think in November. So basically a year ago, in November 2019. Then there was, of course, the Christmas break, because with several bands that we also play in went on tour. And besides that, December, nothing is going on here. So we finished that one in January, and then it was, okay, we're gonna release it, pick a release date. Just after that was done, lockdown started. And that release date was already set, so everything was already in motion for the release. But yeah, as you said, it was like fireworks in the snow. You hear a sizzle, and that is it.
Nice analogy.
Even though I'm not unhappy with the EP, I am so glad that we've started this journey now. I think we've approached the recording in a better way than we did with the EP. I'm a lot more happy with how the songs on this album have come out.
Definitely. So you have recorded the entire album with Boathouse Studio. So can you tell us more about the experience that you've had with them and how it kind of helped you guys? Because I know that for most bands, it's quite difficult, or not difficult, but going from performing live all the time to doing live shows for like a few fans or whatever, and then going into studios. So how would you say that a band adapts to studio as well?
For me, it was very easy. I said I did a music quiz. Doing that, I actually kind of built a studio, and that resulted in the Boathouse Studio, in which I'm sitting right now as well. So the Boathouse Studio is in my house, which made it for me very easy. It also made things like vocals and guitars recording easy, because I had all the time in the world. And
so you just mentioned that the Boathouse Studio is actually your house. So how did that come to be, and how did you choose the name for this, I guess?
I started building the studio because I had to do something to keep my sanity. And I started looking, let me see, what kind of gear do I have and how can I put this all together, which I did. I borrowed a bit here, I borrowed a bit there. I knotted it all together and that became something in which I could properly record everything. The Boathouse is a name that me and my wife have given our house a long time ago. It's based on a painting that we have hanging in the bedroom.
That is so sweet that she also had like a finger in the pie for the studio.
Yeah, well, she had to. It's either have a husband who is grumpy all the time, or let him have the spare room, start building stuff there.
So with the album, you guys also have one cover that you are doing. So my question to you is, obviously it's not easy doing okay, yes, it is kind of easier doing covers, I guess, but also with the rules and regulations and the fact that you have to pay royalties, what goes into recording someone else's song or covering someone's song?
I'd never done it before. I decided to cover Come Together of the Beatles. And I think because, yes, you can go very, very wrong with the Beatles. But on the other hand, you can't go wrong with the Beatles. I mean, they've made... Yeah, okay. That sounds a bit cryptic, but no, the Beatles songs, most of them are so epic. And I think it is a good thing for musicians nowadays to listen back and listen what these guys did way back. Of course, then it is the question, can you do it? Well, I made a quite different arrangement of the song and we recorded it. And when we went to the distribution, I mentioned, yes, this is the Come Together written by Lennon and McCartney. And I just made an arrangement. Well, that was accepted as such.
So with that being said, did you have to email any organization or company like asking them for permission to cover the song, or is it like you're allowed to cover a song like this?
I have not asked. Then again, I did do a bit of a look around on what kind of covers are there of this song. Well, there's a couple of thousand. And so I thought, well, one more can't harm.
So with everything that you guys are busy with and doing at the moment, what was the core of the band? Because I know that originally it was a three-piece band called the Peter T Band. So how did that come together, and what did you guys do before you became Fourth Son South?
We had three Ps, and with the enormous imagination that I have, I came after long thinking to the Peter T Band, on which we used during touring, during lots of shows. At some point it was, no, we actually need someone extra to fill that sound to what it should be. And with the EP coming out, a friend of mine kicked me in the shin and said, now it's a good time to finally get a proper name for that band. So oh yeah, well, maybe you're right. And I came up with Fourth Son South. And yes, I've been told it's a tongue twister, but I also have heard from a lot of feedback was, it's a great name. So yeah, I thought, oh, then that's what we're going for.
I mean, it is a great name, especially with the story that goes behind it. So you're the fourth son, obviously. So you have three older brothers.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
You moved here, or no, you moved to the south. So that's how everything came together.
Yeah, I'm originally from the Netherlands, and you may have heard, what is the dude has got a weird accent. Yeah, that's my accent, and that's what you have to live with. I'm from the Netherlands, and I moved to South Africa.
That is so amazing. So when did you move here from the Netherlands?
In 2003.
So what inspired the move here?
A girl.
Nice.
It's not the current girl. No, it's not always a happy ending, and that one did not have a happy ending, although we're still good friends. But I'm still very glad I came here, and I've been of course, playing in a lot of different bands in the past years. And at some point I had, okay, now it's also time for my own band.
So I have so many questions about the Netherlands, and it's
Go
so
for it.
So my very first question to you in regards to your hometown, I guess, what was it like growing up in the Netherlands? Because from quite a few people I've heard that the Netherlands people are very straightforward. I just wanted to know, like, going to school in the Netherlands, what was it like, and the musical journey for you?
Well, if you grow up somewhere, you don't know anything else. So for me, growing up in the Netherlands was well, just growing up. I mean, I had 3 brothers, and I had a sister, and my mom and dad, and we lived in a house, and I went to school. Yes, people are straightforward. The other side is, and those are things I really came to see after I had moved to South Africa. And life is very, very regulated. I've been discussing that with I still have contact with my old drummer in the Netherlands, a friend, and I spoke to him last Sunday, and he was complaining because I have a wood burner and people are complaining about it. So, why? Well, because you have that dust that comes off it. I said, yeah, so? Well, people don't like it. I said, well, my neighbor is now burning plastic. I can smell it, but so be it.
So this guy basically complained about the braai.
I think, and I'm not sure. No, I do know they because they of course call it a barbecue. He's having a barbecue, but I'm not even sure if there are not special regulations around it that you are allowed to build an open fire in town. What I do know is, so every now and again, when I do go over to the Netherlands, then I can't wait to come back home in South Africa and have my freedom.
And an open braai.
Exactly.
In the Netherlands, which bands did you participate in, I guess? And what was it like being in bands, and how different? Sorry, too many questions at once. Sorry, please answer
No,
that
it's
one.
fine. I played. Well, I've been playing in bands for as long as I can remember. But the band that made good waves was a band called De Niro, which was named after Robert De Niro. As far as I know, there are still videos floating around of that band. Please don't go look at them, because I think I look like a 12-year-old on that video, and nah.
I feel
But
like
yeah, we
you
did.
saying to not go look at the video. My mind is like, you better go find that video. And you better share a link.
Yeah, I regularly. Hey, I saw this video. Man, you look so. Oh, you look like a little boy there. I kind of was still a little boy there. So, now one difference, and of course, it's been a while, so I don't know if that's still the case. But one difference is that in the Netherlands is that every town with more than 3 houses and a little dog house has got at least 5 bands. And so the intensity of bands and the competition is enormous. Playing levels are high because everyone is rich. A couple of years when I went there and hooked up with my old band, and we had a gig, which was very nice. And then you see another band, and well, you can say they were weekend warriors, the amateurs that like to play on Saturday. And these guys all in-ear monitors, all the top of the top gear, and I had, wow. Okay, that's, as it comes to that, we're a little behind, but it's maybe also because I think there's a lot more money floating around there.
Definitely. So, did you at least have a good gig while you were there?
Oh yeah, most certainly. Yeah.
So, have you ever thought about taking Fourth Sun South to the Netherlands and maybe introducing them there?
I am going to work on that. Of course, big problem is to get a band, a 4-piece band to Europe. That's quite a costly business, especially you want to take some gear with. So how are we going to afford that? After 7 November, when the album is available everywhere, I'm going to see if I can reconnect with my old contacts and see if I can punt it a bit in the Netherlands and if I can get a hype going there, because that would make things so much easier.
I mean, that would be absolutely insane if you guys could perform this. So I hope whoever's listening to this, we need to fund this. We need to make sure that they go to the Netherlands and,
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely rock this up.
Yeah, that would be something.
A few personal questions on the side here. So you came to South Africa. Obviously, we've spoke about this quite earlier in the episode, but I want to know, what was your first impression of South Africa? We were like, what the actual F is happening here?
I remember my very first impression, and that was driving to Pretoria from Joburg. So we were coming in town, and I asked, "Hey, is that some kind of a military complex there?" And the answer was, "No, that's a house."
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. But apparently that's also something you get used to fairly quickly.
So were you shocked to see that everybody has like a whole thing around their house and like
Yeah,
everything protecting their house?
landmines, a moat, and guard dogs.
So have you quite adapted to it, luckily? Why this is here?
No, I did, and I have scaled back a bit because at some point I don't want to get myself scared. I don't want to live like this. If at some point, and I do, yes, I do live in a complex. I'm security aware, but I'm not. I refuse to be afraid.
I mean, that's the best way to probably look at it, because once you start, like, not to get all spiritual and shit, but once you start attracting negative energies and you put it out there, obviously that's what you're going to attract. So I think your way of seeing this is absolutely wonderful.
And so far I haven't been robbed, but that can still come.
Well, touch wood.
All right.
So what is your absolute favorite South African dish?
Yeah, I love building, but then again, I actually love eating as a general. Whatever I'm getting is my favorite of the day. Now, there are a couple of things. Pies are a thing that are typical of British culture. And so in the Netherlands, you would have a savory tart, but pies as we have them here, I didn't know them. And I absolutely love them. And I'm not talking about garage pies. I'm talking, although on tour you tend to eat those as well, but proper pies, and I absolutely love those.
I mean, you get some seriously special pies out there.
Exactly. And of course, I do love eating meat, and meat is readily, freely, and cheaply available in South Africa, at least if you compare it to the prices overseas. So I'm very happy with that.
So what is the weirdest dish that you've tried in South Africa?
Okay, now I must be careful not to offend people. No, there is one thing, and I have learned over the years that it is something of the northern half of South Africa. Let's say Old Transvaal, and that is pap and sauce. Pap is a nice thing because you can smear it on the wall and you can put your wallpaper on it, and I think that is the use it should have. You should not eat it.
Oh, I feel like you were deceived. 100%. Wherever you ate pop, they probably made it wrong, because pop, oh man, like, I must say, it's been something that growing up with my gran, that's something that we ate almost every day, is pop with milk and eggs, like scrambled egg. I don't know, I feel like you just had the wrong kind.
Well, I've tried it a couple of times, and yes, when I come at the braai, and I will eat it, but it's well, so far I have not gotten the right one.
So with this all being said, is there ever like a thought in your mind of like, I want to move back to the Netherlands and maybe take your wife, not maybe, definitely take your wife with?
No, and it is something that people ask me. They ask, so you've got a Euro passport. Why are you still here? And then I say, well, why not? Yes, because there are so many negative things. But those people, they should open their eyes and look around, because South Africa is so flippin' special. It's beautiful. We've got the most beautiful landscapes, the most beautiful people, especially here in Pretoria. We've got the best climate in the world. And Yes, we have problems, but there are problems of different kind everywhere. And I love it here.
Definitely. South Africa is truly amazing. And like you said, we have the best scenery. I don't know, have you ever heard of God's Window?
I've been there.
Ooh.
There's still a lot of South Africa that I haven't seen, but I have traveled around a bit, and being a musician helps. And I think it's an absolute beautiful country.
It most certainly is. And I'm sure that South Africa is happy to have you on this side and to sharing
I
your
hope so.
music and your culture with us.
I'm sure there's still things of me that are Dutch, although I'm, of course, very biased, so I wouldn't be able to see them. But yes, for example, as you mentioned, Dutch tend to be very direct, and I think I still have that. And, well, then then you must get used to that.
Was it difficult for you to kind of adapt to because what language did you speak at home? I don't want to just assume.
I spoke Dutch. However, I could already reasonably speak English as well as French and German. Coming to South Africa, here at home, in the homes that I've been living in South Africa, I always spoke English. And yeah, that funny accent is still there. But and it took me a couple of weeks to tune my ears to understand Afrikaans properly.
So would you say that you understand Afrikaans now? So if I speak Afrikaans to you, would you understand?
I haven't. Yes, that took me a couple of weeks, and it's been a couple of years now. Yeah, no, I've no problem with Afrikaans. My bass player only found out after a year or four that I could actually understand everything that he said about me.
Ooh, was it bad?
Nah, not too.
Luckily, you're from the Netherlands, so you can take it. It's like it's not that offensive, hopefully.
No, and he's a nice guy.
So how did he find out? Did you respond to him in Afrikaans?
Yeah, at some point, and they were discussing something in Afrikaans, and I was just entering the conversation, even though I was speaking English. I was just responding to whatever he was saying. So jy verstaan alles wat ek sê? Yeah, yes, I do.
I feel like his heart must have sank so deep. Shit.
Now, we sometimes use it as an anecdote during a gig.
What gigs have you guys done that absolutely stand out to you?
Many. There are two places that we've played and that are the most magical places. The one is in Nelspruit. The venue used to be there called Blue Moon. The venue is still there, but it's not operating anymore, at least not as a venue. I think they can still rent it. The Blue Moon in Nelspruit it's a natural amphitheater on which they have built a stage, and it is absolutely fantastic. The other place is the diving camp in Ponta Malongan, where the yearly festival Strab is, and we've had a festival called Four as well there. For me, that is the most, it is on the beach in Mozambique, just outside Ponta Douro, and it is the most magical place in the world.
That sounds absolutely amazing. So if you had to choose one or the other gig that you just mentioned, which one would you want to relive?
I would love to go back to the beach.
That's such a great answer. I mean, we could all use with a bit of ocean right about now.
Yeah. And yes, we've played huge gigs in so many different places. Strab Festival, we must still see if it is going to happen next year, but there's a maximum of 1,200 people used there to be. This year it did not happen. So there's not even that many people, but it's so beautiful and the atmosphere is so good.
It sounds absolutely amazing. I really hope that it does come back and hopefully can join this. I mean, it just sounds so tranquil.
It is.
So I have two more questions left for you. So the first one is, as a musician, a multi-talented musician, to what extent do you go through to protect your money makers, as we can probably call them?
Depending on how you look at that, I do not insure my fingers or my throat or anything like that. So yes, if I do have an accident, then I have a problem. It's actually a very, very terrifying thought.
I feel like you
Because
have homework after this interview now. It's like, how do I ensure these?
and then the whole thing is then also, and what do you have to pay monthly? Because life as a musician is very good, but past months I can say I have not made a lot of money.
No, it hasn't been
Uh,
easy to try and
it ha-
suss out
not at all.
magic or cash from the industry.
That's true. Thank goodness I also teach music, so I still had a couple of students, and they've been very good to me, and they have continued taking their lessons.
Just to get back to the question, what vocal exercises do you do before you record or perform, and like finger exercises for when you guitar?
Not enough, that I know. Hey, there was a time that I actually only did a and then I had, okay, well, that will work. I try to warm up a bit, the voice, but probably should do more. It's always gone. My fingers, I don't warm up because I play enough during the week.
Which is pretty consistent because you have to exercise constantly in order to be a great musician.
Yeah, but I usually play a couple of hours a day.
That's amazing. Your neighbors must probably love you so much for the ambient music.
Yeah, no, but it's not that all that bad. I often play on an electric guitar, and you really don't hear that outside of my house. So an electric guitar without the amplifier.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just do a few shows for the complex. I mean, I'm sure they would be grateful for that.
I do have a couple of fans in the complex. That's true.
So my very last question that I have for you is, if there is ever another musician from the Netherlands coming to South Africa and your paths hopefully cross, which advice would you give him for the musical industry in South Africa and how to survive?
Now that's a difficult one. I would first ask him, do you also sing in Dutch? Because people forever want me to sing in Dutch, and I do have a few songs in Dutch that I can perform, but I've never written a proper. It never came out right, and I do know a lot of people love it when I sing in Dutch. Another thing is just go on playing. Make sure you do play with as many people, as many different people as possible, and so that you have so that you grow your contacts. Just go for it.
Cool. That is some amazing inspiration, and definitely get yourself a manager such as Devo.
That is indeed also important, and I'm very glad that Devo is helping me, because I'm good at some things, but that side of the industry is definitely not one of it.
Yeah, no, he helps out a lot, and he helps wherever
Yeah.
he can. So that's amazing.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's really been so much fun getting to know you, because this was an absolute shock for me. Usually I get to know the people before I do the interview, but I did not know that you were from the Netherlands and that you like moved here. Dis ongelooflik.
All right. Thank you for the interview, and of course, I also hope that you enjoy our music.
I absolutely do.
Thank you.